Ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a treat. I'm speaking to a large audience here of about 7 viewers today, so we're very, very excited. Anyway, jokes aside, I'm going to be sharing with you today something called vibe coding, and it's a concept really simplified down to adding a prompt into a particular system, this vibe coding system, and we're going to talk about replit here today. And I'm going to flip over to the screen here in a second, but I'm going to show you how I build this out real time. This is no sugarcoating or no final, edits or preparations for this. We are just doing it live, and I'm posting it here to YouTube, and you are watching it as we go. So hopefully I won't screw this up too much, but this is exciting because not only is the technology advanced to a level where we couldn't even fathom just a year ago, maybe even just 6 months ago. That's how fast these things are moving. But yeah, I am a developer in the old days from Microsoft and Yahoo, and I still do some coding today, but I'm more of a systems and process guy right now. And with the agency, we do a lot of advertising. But when it comes down to developing software apps, this is an exciting time, because not only for the tools and AI, but also for the innovative ways in which you can speak to, organize, and output very high quality applications. And you can sell them, sure. But first, we're going to try and actually provide something that helps people. And today, I'm going to actually develop a super cool app here, and using some simple prompts and instructions, probably less than anything you've seen before, especially if you're a little bit more in the trenches with this stuff. But I'm going to hold back on that for a moment. I'll get back to it. But we're going to talk about replit here today, and that's what I have up here and rolling right now. This is the homepage. Make an app for language learners that helps find pet-friendly places and services. And that's literally it. You're just typing in a simple prompt, and off it goes. And you'll see how this stuff works here, guys and gals. Super exciting. And hey, let's dig in. First of all, I'm going to tell you, we're going to build out this application here. This is a multi-million-dollar software piece. These guys have been around forever. It's actually a really, really solid system that helps you organize, capture, and tackle your to-dos from anywhere, as it sees here. Now, if you're not familiar with Trello, that's okay. You'll see it in full functionality as we develop it here with replit. Okay, so how do we get started? Well, I have launched this in what we call an incognito window, so no cookies, no prior sets here. We're just going to go ahead and log in. So let's try this. I've never actually done it from this level here. I just had signed in from before. So let's continue with X and authenticate against my Twitter account. You can set up an email, of course. Sign into X. Okay, so here's our first little problem. We're actually not able to log in here right now, so forget that guy. We're going to go in and do another one. So guys, I skipped over the login here because it was too messy, and a classic example of what happens when you're trying to log in live. All right, so we are in. It's verifying some things here. And okay, great. This looks a little bit odd here. Let me go home. Yeah, okay, this is better. So Jan, Roggy here for now, personal use. So you got to sign up for a couple of requirements here. Continue with starter. And we're going to start creating. Okay, so we're here, and I'm going to delete this pet aid thing. So this is what you would expect to see at this level. Now, I like the dark mode here. So let's see, where is that? All right, so I guess I can't find it here right now. Oh yeah, here we go. So let's go ahead and see here. Themes, guys. Go down there. Okay. Much better. All right, and now we're back to home. Okay, so what we wanted to do is to build out a simple Trello application here. So what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm literally going to just take the URL and I'm going to go back over to replit and I'm going to describe it. Now, here's a couple of thoughts for you. There's a lot of talk about prompting, and rightly so. Prompting is very, very important for, in fact, it's probably the most important thing you can do to get the best results from AI, at least in this chat mode. And there's a lot of courses on prompting. Google has I think, a 8 or 9 hour course through Coursera. There's obviously the YouTubes, but I have found sometimes to just get some prototypes out and to get some ideas out, just literally bang it out. Like, guys, don't think about this too much initially. Now, I'm putting up a big disclaimer here, okay? If you're going to develop something serious that's going to be viable in the marketplace and that you're going to charge for, you want to do your research first. Market research, competitive research, get your demographics, technographics, psychographics, all the back-end information in place and get proper documentation in place to make sure that it's viable. Now, while I say that, there's a lot of time that can be spent on that and analyzing, the analysis paralysis, as you've heard, instead of simply saying, you know what, let me just whip out an app here once a day for the next 7 days and get a feel for how these things work. You know what? I'm sort of leaning towards that a little bit, especially for beginners. If you don't understand or know the markets and you don't know how to do proper research, you don't know how to do prompting, don't be too hard on yourself, is what I'm saying here. So I'm going to preface. So the reason why I prefaced it this way is because I'm going to chat GPT and do what many do in this context. And I'll show you the two different angles here. And we're going to test only one, but I'm going to show you the two angles and you can decide which one you would prefer. So make me an app like Trello and ensure that it has the basic features enabled and that it's not a straight up copy, I'll just say here. So this is just me thinking out live here. We are thinking out loud because we're alive. I can say it. And it comes right back. Sure thing. Here's how you can build an app inspired by Trello, featuring essential Kanban style functionality. Those are the cards and you'll see what it is here in a moment. So, okay, I want to do boards, lists, and cards, drag and drop UI, card details, user management. Okay, so it's basically looking at this page and discovering, okay, not only can I pull information from that URL, from that domain, but it knows already that Trello is a significant player in the space, so it's able to pull back a lot of information here. So here's the development approach. Here's the tech stack ideas. So I'm going to use React, Vue.js, Bubble.io, user accounts, Strap React, Python Flat, a lot of different technologies and breakdowns here. We're probably going to be talking about databases and logins and security layers and things like that. So there's a lot. So if you're a brand new person into this game, this is just going to simply be overwhelming, okay? And I don't want that for you, and I don't want that for me in this live session either. So let's get into it here. I'll show you what I mean here in a second by these two different approaches that I mentioned. And something interesting that came out of this, which is a bookmark for you, is how to differentiate your app. Maybe there's some things that the AI here is saying we should do that's not a straight up copy. Well, that could be useful. Again, we're not going to worry too much about this because I'm going to use another approach here for actually building this. And here it comes back with a video. back in tutorials. Final thoughts. You're not just making a Trello clone. You're laying the foundation for a unique productivity tool. Very interesting. So the fact that I said, hey, I don't want it to be a straight up copy gives the AI an idea about adding some other features or functionality. And we can use that in our marketing as well to position the product to say it's not a Trello copy, it's Trello times 10. It's a 10x Trello product, whatever the marketing angle is. Well, after all of this, we are not going to even use this approach. I included this because I wanted to show you how in-depth this can get and how you can be essentially heading down the rabbit trail or the rabbit hole in trying to figure these things out before you even get to it. You should have a much more low end kind of the requirement going in should just be a much lighter, I should say. Not low, but lighter. And we're going to do that exactly now. Describe to me what you want to build. Well, I'm literally going to say, build me an app like HTTPS Trello. And that's it. I could have taken a screenshot of the app and uploaded that as well. So I could have gone to Trello and screenshot that and uploaded it here. But we're going to just basically see what it says here right now. So it's making an implementation plan. This is fairly common for these vibe coding tools like Lovable, Bolt, and of course, Replit here. By the way, there's a link to Replit below this video. You should not click that unless you want to give me $10 because it's a $10 referral fee. But I'm adding it because, hey, who doesn't want to be helpful? So watch now. It's off and running. I'll help you build a Trello-like app. Let me first fetch the Trello website to understand key features and design. So notice how this app is actually doing the work that we did in ChatGPT without worrying about all the back-end tech stacks and databases and things like that. Okay, here we go. So it's naming it task flow here. Based on the analysis, I can see it's a powerful project management and organizational tool. Let me create a comprehensive plan for creating a Trello-like application with the core features that make it so effective. So instead of using it the other approach, I just typed that in. I am making it simple because we are live here and it's for my audience that's a little lighter on the coding side, I want to say. So we definitely want to think about the prompting. I'm not dismissing that or walking away from the fact that you need to think about the prompting here because there's a lot of specificity that you can give it that makes the product really much better. And one way to think about this to make it much better is to think simplicity and think unique features as in one or two things. So if you go through Trello and you find out that there's 30 things that it does really well, and it maybe has 100 features, 30 things, your product should maybe have one or two things that it does really well, and that becomes your unique niche angle. But we're not going to talk much about marketing here today, but I wanted to at least have you think about that. Okay. So let's see here. Initial version, Trello inspired. Create boards list, show more features. So it's basically building out a little checklist here. And as we can see, we already have a prototype rolling over here. And, oh yeah, so I can't scroll here for some reason, but you should be able to look up and down and, be able to figure out what's going on here. So are you ready to build? And I'm just going to say, I want to add a small modifier here, okay? So I'm going to say I need to make, or you need to make sure that the boards are drag and drop and that it's easy to add lists. That's it. So I haven't approved the plan yet. I knew that I wanted a couple of features because that preview didn't look quite the way I wanted it. So it does talk about adding lists. So a review, okay. Let's see. Yeah, so it is actually building it. I just wanted to make sure. So here we go. It's coming down and it's thinking a little bit further here. And let's take a look. See here, guys and gals. This is super exciting. It's building it. It's actually building the plan behind the scenes here. So you can take a look, and then it's going to actually start cranking out the code, for you to actually see and for us to start testing. So it's working here. And all right, designing visual preview. Let's see if it actually changed those boards. Because again, it didn't look quite right to me. I've used Trello before, and the boards are not visually shown this particular way. While it's doing that, let's see here. So templates. So here we go. I think we can use probably a template here, and let's see, lead management system. Is it going to show a demo here? Yeah, so here's an example of these boards that you can drag and drop. So that's what we're trying to get to. Let's see if it actually is building this out. It's calling it a Trello clone now. Oh, okay. Interesting. Just that one little command changed the interface. Did you see that? So now, yeah, okay. Remember how I said it's not quite where I wanted it to be? Now it's building out the boards, drag and drop. Okay, we're starting to move in the right direction here. That's one of the, remember how I talked about all the features in a particular product and then scale it down to one or two? This would be an example of exactly what we're looking for. This is looking beautiful. It's even starting to simulate multiple users in a team here. You can see that team, right? Has a login for me. Why simulation of John Douglas or whoever that might be. By the way, adding a database to this in the backend and creating authentication, login usernames, etc., very easy to do because Replit actually connects to databases automatically behind the scenes. So you don't have to worry about that. Bolt, for instance, you do have to worry about that. Also, when it comes to backend sort of organization, Replit has made this very, very easy with intention. Their goal is to make this a very almost self-sufficient product where it can write itself outside of your commands. So it's going to be exciting to see where this goes. Okay. Still can't scroll over here. This is part of the journey, I guess, at this point. We're live, remember? Well, you're seeing a recording, but let's go ahead and approve and plan it out. Okay. So within minutes here now, we have a board implementation that looks like, at least in the functionality, like a Trello. If you remember, we talked about the boards over here. This type of organization is not only very user-friendly, but it's very productive, and it sort of mimics you with back in the old days, probably with a bunch of stick-it pads and however you ran your projects before all this techie stuff. They made it just drag and drop simple here. So I recommend not clicking or messing around with the interface, even though it's exciting to start working with this, because it may interact with or disturb some of this that's happening on the back end here. So we don't want to mess with that. Now, let's see here. I can actually click over here on the top left, and I can look at, so let's see, see, there's a different version from paid to free. So let me see, guys and gals. So where is it? Account. I should be able to look at the source code here. So let's not worry about that for now. It's still thinking. Initial version, Trello inspired project management, drag and drop. Here we go. We're just watching. And let's see here. All right, it's creating Basically, it's using style sheets and UI parameters from Tailwind, which is a open source a project that allows you to create very interactive, user-friendly objects and interfaces in general. It's using some of the best in the open source community when it comes to source code, but also it's using technology that is very portable, meaning desktop, table, tablets rather, and mobile. So we want to look at that as well. All right, it's still going over here, guys and gals. So I'm just going to pause this video here briefly until this is built, and then we're going to play with it. It's been built. We are back, and let me show you what it built here. First of all, it says right here, I've built a Trello-inspired project management with drag and drop functionality. Here's what I've implemented recently. Created data scheme for boards list, set up in memory storage. This is interesting. There's no database right here. It's all in memory. Implemented drag and drop interface with React DND. Board sidebar. Okay. It's kind of breaking down what we saw earlier. So let's take a look-see here. Can we click in? I'm going to click on the board. Okay. This is perfect. It's a bug and it broke. So what I can do now is I can take a screenshot and I can upload that, which I recommend. But often what I'll do is I'll just make a copy and I'll say error, please fix. And then I'll paste in the error and let's see what happens. Now, this was a great example of how things work within this vibe coding process. You'll do a lot of error fixing by copying and pasting and uploading images because stuff doesn't work all the time. And some of these apps are very complex. So if you want to create a feature set of an existing product out there, you should follow that rule that I gave you earlier. Make one or two features or elements of a particular product the core. And maybe expand on that to make it a little better. That's always good, right? But don't try to clone out the whole app. There's just too much to deal with, too much complexity, and you're going to be stressing out. You're going to be behind the scenes here of Replit. There's a token system, and they give you a number of tokens for free, as you saw, the free account sign up. And then for $25 a month, you get more credits, or for plan 2, it's $25. You can keep adding money to it, but each time you're running this, the credits get used up. So you don't want to be spending too much time just back and forth because you're lazy in defining the product. So it sort of speaks to the pros and cons of doing your research beforehand, or just banging a one-liner like I did and say, make this app for me. But if you have a simple app, you can easily do that. But be a little bit more specific about the features, So enough talk, let's take a look. So can I drag and drop? Not yet, it looks like. Okay, it's thinking. Okay, the drag and drop is not working. But clearly, we're starting to see some functionality here. I'm going to add a card. More to do. To-do lists for me. Selecting a label, design. Okay, did it add it? Yes. Okay, so interesting here. We're seeing a card being added, which is great, but we're actually not able to drag and drop here. None of these other features or navigational elements work over here. But that's also expected, by the way, because I haven't told it what to do with this. I've told it what to do with the team and the logins, but now I can tell it here. Now let's talk to it. The drag and drop functionality does not save when moving inside the app. Please fix. Drag and drop. That is not a word we want to use here. Drag and drop. Okay, so I've just added a quick instruction to fix some functionality that wasn't working. So let's see now what replit is actually going to do for us. This is actually a great example of you talking to the system, the back and forth, fixing bugs, taking screenshots, as I mentioned, or copy paste. And let's take a look. So there you go. It's detecting the drag and drop, but it's actually not saving it to the back end. It just logs the move. Let me fix this by implementing an actual API call to update the card position when they drop. Perfect. That's what we want. And the fact that it understands this by just a simple voice command from me is AI on steroids, as you know. So let's take a look-see. Again, we're going live here. This is not a pretty scripted video with intention. I just want to show you how this stuff works in a day-to-day basis. And if you hear me stuttering and thinking, that's exactly what's happening here. If you wanted me to create a script and have prepared screens and zip through this, we could have done that, but actually seeing and feeling and experiencing what I'm going through right now is exactly what you'll be dealing with. More or less. For some of you, way more. For some of you, way less. And okay, so agent is ready. When you see that down here, you're good to go. You can actually start moving it. So you can move on it. So let's talk about the more to do. I'm going to move it over here. Bam! It's working. Okay. Implement authentication. We've done that. We're going to move it to review stage. Great. Let's actually move it to done. Okay, it's actually doing it. So the add a card. Now the question is, can we add another list? The reporting sales updates. So we're going to add this list. Yep, it added the list here. Great. So now we should be able to add a card within that. So I'll just say team updates. Team updates for consultants. All right, here we go. Yeah, it did actually add that as well. So again, we should be able to even grab the entire board, but that's not the functionality I wanted here. I just wanted to see if it actually works, and it does. Very cool. Now, all these other navigational elements, like the triple dot here, we can tell it to go into edit mode. We can tell it to do other things. We can add more functionality. We're just going to add a test card here. And we can move and drag and drop, and it totally is working for us. And we can start testing. Okay, so now we've developed our first piece of the functionality for this particular project. The next thing that I would do here is, if I feel like this is exactly what we want, then I would say, make this simpler. No need for multi-user, and make navigation and interface simpler. I'm repeating simpler here twice. That's okay. Simpler, and make sure the core functionality is working as it is now. And then after this, I will show you how you create a version 1 checkpoint. Because there are horror stories out there of folks working with these vibe coding systems and not understanding that, hey, you can actually lose this work if you don't know what you're doing in terms of saving checkpoints. Now, the system internally does this, but you want to make it very, very specific so that you can roll back. Because here you can go kind of crazy here now. You can add all kinds of features, add the database functionality, create custom logins, etc. Create a home page and the landing page with a video for marketing purposes. And so you're starting to add a lot of functionality to it. Backend database specifically gets more complex, as you can imagine. And then something breaks and it appears to go into a total, spinning mode where it just goes back and forth and cannot seem to get out of its own self in terms of creating errors. It happens, and it's not a pretty place to be because you get very frustrated. But then you have the solution. I can go back to my previous checkpoint and restore. Easy to do. So let's see here. So notice how it took away navigation and the multi-user here. Let's see if it still works. Yes, it does. Okay, so now I can say make this version 1 checkpoint and write the logs. Okay, so I'm basically saying, yep, this is good for now. Version 1 is in the box. I just want to make sure that we save this off. 1.0 is created. Now, let's say I make all these other new features and functionalities in here, and we're 2 hours into this, and the credits are going. Something breaks, and I can't seem to get out of it. I'll just say, you know what? Restore, roll back to version 1.0. Notice here, fully functional Trello clone. Drag and drop board management, mobile responsive, clean interface, simplified. All of this is documented, and let's see if I can find the, I think maybe in the paid version you can, in the paid version you can definitely see the code being generated, but I can't find it here right now. But in the code, you'll basically have, notice how it says rollback here. In the code, it will actually have README files and such things. Another thing that we also want to do as you start to get more pro at this is to connect this to a sourcing database, a code source database like GitHub, 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 where it controls versions and basically has a repository for you to go in. Because sometimes you may develop a very functional prototype and then hand it over to a development team to finish it off. Now, I would say the only reason why you would do that if there's some level of complexity that this couldn't handle, and or if you're going for a more industrial strength type of work, project work. But truly, this is developing high quality code for you. You don't have to worry about what it's actually doing in the back end here. I like to see what it's doing because that's my sort of tech side of me, but ultimately you have an app that's working and that you can deploy. In fact, the deploy up here is exactly that. So when I click on it, I can change it to TaskFlow Trello demo, and it becomes basically that URL that you can share out with a particular client and or just share it with your team and or give it to a few people to say, hey guys, can you test this thing for me? And now there's an upgrade path, here, which allows you to connect the domain directly. So go to GoDaddy or Namecheap, whatever, create the domain, sign the domain here, apply the DNS settings, which basically is domain naming services settings, apply the A record or the CNAME, apply the IP there, and publish. And now you got actually a domain with a fully functional app running behind the scenes. How exciting is that, right? You've never developed an app or never been a coder. This is a whole new world, I'm telling you guys and gals, and I hope you'll take advantage of this and fire off any questions. As I said, I have background in development, but I've been playing with vibe coding now for the last few months, and we actually developed 2 new apps that are industrial strength, I'll call it, which we are presenting to 2 clients this week. And it is solid. It is amazing, really. And these are apps that would probably take a good 3 to 4 weeks in the traditional sense. And we're doing it in days here, guys and gals. So I hope you take advantage of this. Now, the tabs here are going to be available for you to go back and forth. And I wish I could see where the code is located. So guys, I'm just gonna pause here, and I'm gonna go into one of our systems And I'm going to find where. All right. Yes. So I was correct. A paid version will allow you to, there's a little icon that shows up over here where you can actually expand out the window. A pane shows up, a panel, and all your code is there. You could click on the code and you can start reviewing code directly. So if you're more of a code monster, you can certainly go in and do that. But here we are. We have created our first functional board system, aka mini Trello here, and we can actually finish this off, finalize it, put a database, and then publish it on a domain. And this is where, of course, unless you have a client base already, marketing will come into play, from product naming, color schemes, creating home pages, etc. I'll have another video where I talk about how to easily create home pages. There's many tools for that as well. But ultimately, this was the core message I wanted to get to you in this video. Try out vibe coding. Replit is a good place to start, but there's Lovable, .dev, there's Bolt.new, there's Firebase from Google. If you're a coder, you can get right down to Claude Code, which is terminal-based coding, and lots more, guys and gals. So for now, I'm going to sign off. And hey, if you like these types of videos, I'll jump on and do more of the live demo videos with errors and faults and weirdness, and trying to explain this to you the best way I can. So I hope you like it. And I really enjoy making these, by the way. So it's all good. Yawn out.